Hi there. Today I'm going to show you the Power BI Industrial Connector, which is available through the Industrial App Store. Before we get into it, there's a couple things I need to mention. Firstly, you need to have already been registered or signed up to the Industrial App Store to access the connector. You can connect via your Gmail account, or if your organization has already registered with the Industrial App Store, then you can sign in with your Microsoft Work credentials. And secondly, unless your organization has their own data sources on the Industrial App Store, or you have access to other organizations' data sources, you'll only be able to see the demo data sources that I'm going to show you today. And just a last thing, we give you access to your data. We don't provide any services on building dashboards. Right, let's begin. To access the connector, we first need to go to Get Data. And then begin typing in Industrial App Store. Now we're going to connect. I'm now getting asked to sign in. If this is your first time using the connector, you will see this window as well. So let me sign in, and it's going to open up this window here. This is the app authorization page. All of the apps on the Industrial App Store require user authorization before they can access data. So here I'm going to scroll down and select the two demo data sources that we're going to look at in this video. These are Alarm Analysis Demo and Oil Code Demo. I'll scroll down to the bottom and agree to sign in. Now we can connect. Selecting the drop-down box of my Oil Code Demo, I can see all the actions available. Starting from the bottom, Tag Search, where you can enter in part of a tag name, click Apply, and it will find all the values associated with that. Get Snapshot will show you the most recent value from each of the tag names that you enter. I'm going to skip over Get Raw, but this is how you can get your raw data into Power BI. Get Processed provides you with 4 different functions. You can import interpolated values, maximum values, minimum values, and average values. The one that we recommend is Get Plot, and this is the one that I'm going to use to import my data. I'm going to enter in my tag names. With the start date, there's 2 options. You can enter in a calendar date, like so, or you can do relative dates, which is what I'm going to use. So if I do star minus 7D, that's going to get me the data now, 7 days ago. And then for the end date, I can just enter in an asterisk, and that will give me the most recent data. So I'm going to receive data from 7 days ago all the way up to the present moment. This interval box is how many data points you want to import. I'm going to enter in 500 as an example and click Apply. There we go. That data is now available. Let me load that in. Just a note, because I'm recording, this might take a little bit longer for myself than it will for you. And there we go. on the right hand side, you can see get plot. If I go to the data view, you can see the data. Again, what this has done is it's taken your request, it's went through App Store Connect, our data connectivity tool, straight to where the data is being stored on site, and brought that data into Power BI. I'll now make a line chart just as an example of me using the data. It's worth mentioning that for sample time, make sure that you change the tick from date hierarchy to sample time. And there we go. We recommend getplot because it shows you the most accurate representation of how your data is changing over time. With the likes of average or minimum or maximum, you don't get the granularity that you do in getplot. It shows you all the peaks and troughs that other aggregations might not show you. So you've imported data, but then you realize that you want to change the query. You want to change it from the last 7 days to the last 14 days. How do I change that? Well, if you click on Transform Data and open up your Power Query Editor, you can do just that. This is my query that I made for the getplot data. I can change any of these values, but I'm going to change the date to the last 14 days. I'll close and apply. And this should now update this graph. And there we go. We now have data all the way back to the 13th of July. So we've looked at getting process data into Power BI, but now let's look at getting our alarm and event data into Power BI as well. If I open up the alarm analysis demo data source and go to reports, we're going to look at bad actors first. So these are your chattering alarms or your fleeting alarms, the alarms that appear most frequently. In the drop-down box, the asset name will already be there available for you. We can enter in our start dates and end dates. We can do a calendar date or relative date if we want. We've got a couple of optional fields here. So I'm going to say I want to see alarms only. I don't want to see interventions. And I'm going to look for the top 20 bad actors. If I click apply, it's going to obtain that data and bring it back to us in Power BI. And there we go. There's our top 20 bad actors. Next up is sequence of events, and this is just going to show you the most recent alarms and events coming from your asset. Configuration is straightforward once again. I'll enter in a start date and an end date. We have an optional field here for filtering what we want to see, along with page numbers and page size. I'm just going to enter in a page size of 20, click apply, and this will show me the 20 most recent alarms and events. All the fields associated with each alarm and event. Lastly, I'm going to show you the get data function. Now, the get data function is where you're able to get your KPIs for your alarm and events. This is through the use of meta tags, which I'm now going to show you on the GitHub page we have created. The GitHub page for our meta tags has all the KPIs available for use within Power BI. And some example ones up here. So for example, it takes the asset name. So our demo data source has Oil Co Osprey as the asset name, followed by the KPI, which you can get from this list down here. So this top one here is going to give us the number of alarms for the Oil Co Osprey asset in the time range that we set. Meta tags make it straightforward to get your calculations onto Power BI. You don't need to worry about doing DAX expressions or any kind of measures within Power BI. These are all done for you, just a case of copy and paste. So I'm going to take this top one here, Oil Co. Osprey, KPI number of alarms, and I'm going to put that into our Power BI desktop. I'm now going to paste the meta tag into the tag name field, enter in a start date and an end date. The function is a required field, however, it doesn't actually matter what you put in. Interval, I want the number of alarms per hour, and I'm going to leave everything else blank. So when I click apply, it's going to provide me with the number of alarms on the Oil Co. Osprey asset for every hour of the day. I'm going to load that in. And there we go. On the right hand side we can see get data, and if I go to the data view and go to the get data table, we can now see number of alarms for every hour within the time period that we gave. Let's make a little table. And there we have it, your alarm and event data within Power BI. And just before I finish, I just want to show you a few dashboards that we've created internally, just to give you an idea of what you could utilize this data for. So we've got some pump dashboards here, looking at all our process data. Got one just for compressors as well. And then I've got an alarm dashboard here, which is utilizing the alarm and event capabilities, looking at that KPIs and that meta tags that we have available through the GitHub page and utilizing them within Power BI. That's all I'm going to show you today about the Power BI Industrial Connector from Intelligent Plant. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at support@intelligentplant.com. I've also included a number of help links below in the description of this video for you to check out at your pleasure. And with that, thank you very much for watching.